G'day, it's Jim. Welcome to part 3 of the Junk Workshop series.
I wanted to make some extra large drawers at the bottom of the small parts storage. I had allowed for that, and so I got to work making them. Apparently not large enough.
That's what she said.
I used some spacers to fix my stuff up. I decided I'd make some wall cupboard storage, and I started that by ripping down the pieces of my old mitresaw bench to size on my table saw. To save the misery of another pocket hole dance party, it is butt joints and screws. Had to include the scene where I decided I needed to pat the dog because the dog was in the workshop, and when the dog's in the workshop, you pat the dog. It's a rule in the workshop. I thought a French cleat would be the best way to hang it on the wall, so I fumbled around making a French cleat before I found this long piece of French cleat left over from the old workshop. So, yeah. Fun. Being the professional YouTuber that I am, this is the in-depth guide because I later have built another one of these that I won't show you the process of building. Needless to say, butt joints, screws, French cleat on the wall. Thanks again, Mum, for the shelf pin jig. Now to attach it to the wall. Hopefully I don't show any tradie cracks in this shot. I don't think I do. And there it is.
Something a bit different today. I'm going to try and make the surround for the saw with a cupboard at the top. I've actually got a plan. I've got some recycled plywood. I'm going to try and make it and bring you along.
I made a YouTube Shorts video on this, so if you want to see that video you can find it, but I'll include some highlights. But sorry, it's all recorded in time-lapse and it's in what I call portrait mode. This is all made from 12mm plywood. That was my old small parts bin, racks and some drawers and stuff, so it's all recycled. I don't care. I just tried to make the best of what I could. Butt joints, screws. I did do some measuring and marking though, so that's pretty good for me, and I did check for square more than once. Some of the plywood was a little bit warped, a little bit bowed, but it was nice to be working with something that wasn't junk melamine. I'll put your signs away, melamine fans. I still like melamine. Here I've got the basic carcass together, but now I need to make sure it fits around the saw and it fits around the framework of my shed, which is a little bit strange. I had to cut a slot in the top for this little bar that joins up the leg and the roof beams for the shed, but thank goodness with my new cordless jigsaw and Mrs. Fake Maker for bringing me coffee and a bit of trial and error, I got it done, so love you wifey, thanks for the brew. I covered in the back of the unit cupboard with some scrap packing crate ply. I didn't show a lot of that footage though because my butt crack was visible and I struggle for subscribers and viewers as it is. With my tradies pencil storer put away cleverly for camera, I could then finally reveal the final product. These cutouts will become clearer later on. It has the dust extraction covered in at the back and it's held down with some cleats that are just screwed through from the side. Second cupboard. As you can see, I've always had these mocked up. They're just some raised wings the same height as my mitresaw table, and now I need to make sure that they are the same height, so a bit of funky maths is happening because I don't have enough of the same material to use on both sides. So here we go. I've cut enough pieces to make 3 large drawers and 1 little drawer that will be 45 degrees so that my saw can still, well, miter. I had great difficulty thinking of how I could build this and attach it to the bench, and then I had this genius idea that I would cut a heap of spacers to make the drawer boxes even front and back, and then I could attach them together, attach them to the bench, and then put the wing material on top of all that. I really racked my brain for the best way that I could fix these things down to the bench top, so I could then attach the wing to it, and then of course it dawned on me. At this point I did have to start cutting miters, and I've avoided miters my entire woodworking journey. Oh god, I've just said journey. Oh no, someone help. Anyway, with the dividers fixed in place, now I could screw in the backers, and then I will attach the drawer slides in there and build the drawer boxes and then attach the top, because I'm a thinker. I most definitely did not strain my back lifting that piece of 18mm MDF melamine stuff in at all. I replicated my 45-degree bevel miter cut, I suppose it's a miter cut, so then I could then not strain my back taking that piece of melamine back outside to cut it with the track saw. I'm happy to report that when I brought it back in, it fit quite nicely indeed. With everything fitting quite well, I'm surprised too, I used my square to make some lines and then fit it down with some screws.
Alright, there's the wash up from day whatever it's up to. Both sides of the outfeed are done. I couldn't route in to put the T-track in because the T-track is not the size that was advertised, so we'll have to try and sort that out upon the return.
I don't know how many sheets of plywood I actually bought for this old unit that I have cut up to make all these other things from, but I'm shocked at how far it's going, so I'm cutting up more of that leftover plywood from my small part storage to make the small drawers. Some nice shallow ones. I'm thinking drill bits, router bits, maybe some squares and pens and pencils and things. This crosscut sled has come in really handy during all of this project, and I'm just using it here with a little scrap offcut against the fence to cut my sides to the right length. These drawers are just going together with brad nails. I've made a lot of drawers on this project, so this is my method for measuring the fronts and backs. I have my 2 drawer slides fitted, I put my 2 side pieces in so I've got the right thickness, I pull one drawer slide out, I butt a steel rule against the other 2 sides that are stacked, and then I've got a pretty accurate measurement for how wide my fronts, or how long my fronts and back need to be for these drawers. Yeah, that's pretty good. So fast forward a couple of dead camera batteries later, and these are the drawer fronts that are made out of old Dalek hardwood ply, marine ply I think, that are glued on, and thank you Fix It Fingers for the thick super glue that stuck them on temporarily before I could put the handles on. And then here are my 45-degree drawers that were a bit of a faff. There's no special joinery or anything, they're just, you know, nailed and glued together, but they slide on pieces of form ply, and I'm happy that they work, and I now have somewhere to put pencils in one, and I think I put Forstner bits in the other one. Although the drills look really small, it's only 5 really short, narrow drawers. The amount of plastic containers and things that I managed to get rid of with a little bit of 3D printed organisation was amazing. All my drills, all my screwdriver bits, all fit into those 2 drawers, and I am stoked with how it turned out. As well as the obvious space gains there from getting rid of all of those plastic tubs, these 2 drawers are right next to the drill press. I don't need to walk across the workshop anymore when I want to drill a hole in something or change a hole saw or change a drill bit size. They're right there. Also, all my screwdriver bits are now right next to the workbench when I'm putting stuff together. I could not be happier with how these have turned out, and I'm sorry, I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm really happy. And here are my 45-degree drawers, and I even made little 45-degree drawer pulls because, yeah, I don't have much of a life. Yay! I decided to go extra fancy, and I made some brackets for my new under-cabinet lighting from Amazon. Yay! And finally the reveal, 3D printed door handles and grey painted doors that are just made of MDF offcuts and a round over bit, and I think it's looking a lot better. Also got somewhere to put my radio, which is cool. Clamps are on the wall, small parts storage is done. This thing is really starting to not only take shape, but become extremely useful for making other things, and I'm already making other things at the time of recording this voiceover. Really love it. Thanks for sticking with me.